Hello, everybody. People tuning into my reptile specific part of my YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to talk again about my snakes. I've just kind of been trying to spend more time with them in the last month. So I've got something cool that kind of happened last night, and it kind of worked out, and I thought it was cool. Maybe you'll think maybe you'll think it's cool too. Okay, so we're going to get to the point. Manny shed yesterday, and then one of my leopard boas shed probably 4 days ago. I'm just going to show you the size difference. When I take them out and I hold them, it's really hard to tell the difference in their sizes. You know, I mean, obviously one looks bigger than the other, but it's hard just to take the snakes out and hold them by the tip of their tail and hold them by the tip of their head and show you. Manny is about approaching 4 feet. I don't think he's 4 feet yet. Then my Leo is probably inching up on 3.5 feet, maybe a little under 3.5 feet. That's my second oldest boa, hypo boa, and Manny is my Nicaraguan boa for people that haven't tuned in before. Hopefully I'm going to try to get them out. They're all in there in different spots, hiding and hanging out. But look at this. Okay, so here is Manny's big skin. It's really cool that when they shed and their whole shed comes off just perfectly. A lot of times people have asked me before, how's it come off? You know, it basically, a lot of them are rolled up, and like you take a sock off in a really big hurry and you roll it down, and it's just almost like a condom. That's the only thing I can think of, you know, but a sock too does that. But it's just wadded up, and it has a bunch of gravel or a bunch of the substrate, because they tend to go in to the cages where the substrate is. And so it's got a bunch of BS garbage stuck all in it. I got to take it into the bathroom, and I shake it off when it's still kind of damp, and then I slowly, tediously unwind it, or undo it, and then but this one was relatively not really messed up and balled up, and a lot of work to do. But look at this Manny's skin, and it's actually, when it came out and it was more moist, it's pretty big around, and so Manny is impressive, for a Nicaraguan boa. I know, a lot of these different boas, that are from other countries, or not necessarily where Manny is, which is Central South America, 8, 10, 12 feet. That's big. But, for me, I mean, just having them as little babies, getting them that long, and then 3 or 4 years, in ownership, and now they're that long. It's impressive to see. It's like a proud parent, so I'm just saying, wow, he's big. Not 10 foot big, but 4.5 or 4 foot big for Manny, because he's a dwarf. He's a smaller breed of boa that's not going to get very big. Probably some of the larger ones are 5 and 5.5 feet. So Manny, Manny, I'm speaking about the right creature. I got many reptiles in my brain. So that's his. But let's look at this compared to, say, I don't know which one this is Carmela or my other Sonoran leopard boa. Here's their boa, and I take them out, and they seem, decent size. They don't seem little, but look at that little skin compared to Manny's skin, my male, and he's the smaller, because the females typically get bigger than the males. So here's Manny's, my male Nicaraguan boa. He is almost 4 years old, and I don't know the age, because these weren't little babies when I got them, but they were maybe in their first year, so they've got to be 2.5 years old now. But yeah, look at the size of that. A lot smaller, not nearly as big around, but I thought it was cool. I wanted to share that with you. I've got, and I'll treat you right here. So hang tight. All right, crazy me. I've pretty much tried to hang on to all my snake sheds. I still have a whole nother cabinet full of the smaller boas, the leopard boa and the Sonoran leopard boa. So I'm covering up my mic, so my sound probably just went way down. I do that a lot. But here's just Manny and Leo's sheds. All right, I'm going to try to just express how much I have here, and they're compiled. But look at all of these skins. Plus plus this one right here. This is the latest one. It's a lot of skins. Let me zoom the camera down. Don't ask me what I'm gonna do with them, but look at all the skins that I have from just Manny and Leo. Leo's my hypo boa, my male hypo boa, and Manny again is my Nicaraguan boa. But I think that's his latest one there. And here's maybe the one, maybe a few weeks ago. I think those are probably two. I don't know why I think this is interesting, but let me pull the camera back up. But I would think that these were both Manny. Of course, I can pretty much call that without any dispute. Yeah, just a little bit shorter. It's so cool how snakes shed their skin, and it comes off relatively easy. I mean, if you have the moisture right, obviously all these skins are in whole pieces. I'm doing something right in here. I got the right temperature within the low mid 80s with about 60, 65, maybe high 70% sometimes, maybe down to 50 sometimes. It's just all over the place. But you could probably typically say it's about 55% humidity in their average all year round. Goes up higher, goes up down a little bit lower. But that's good that the snakes are shedding. A lot of people don't get full sheds, and they have actually difficulty getting their snakes to shed. So all four of my boas in here. This is my cage. This is a secondary cage, not their cage anymore. And I'm not saying I won't go back to caging them in individual cages. I've got four terrariums. I got one here, Zilla, Zoomed, and a front opening Zoomed in here, and a Zilla. They're all about 40 gallons, 50 gallons, 40 gallons, whatever. So they're not going to house a big snake, but fortunately, these snakes don't get very big. They're going to max out, 4 to 5 feet between all of them. But let me grab one. Look, I'm going to show you. It's this classic Leo where Leo likes to sit. Last couple of videos I've made, or last 10, you'll see videos of Manny and Leo, and I kind of highlight Manny and Leo. So let's bring my camera over here. There's Leo's favorite spot all the time. He keeps a percentage of his body in the little log right there, and he'll typically come out about 6 inches, but then half the time he comes out about 1.5 feet, and he just sits right there. And then he lets me come in, and he's always really, really interested in me. And I haven't seen him today, but I'm going to come up to him. This is always risky with a snake. Bring my hand, because I feed them in here just like this, but I'm going to put my hand fist up. That's what I'm doing, my fist up, and then I'm going to put it over to him. Snakes can just bite you. I mean, they can get confused. He's going to use his tongue. He's going to figure me out. A lot of times you just go straight into their cage and you stick your hand into them, you're going to get bit. Now, I'm not going to do it right now, but I can come up with my finger sometimes and touch him right here, and I don't know if that startles him or scares him, or he thinks that's something not doing him right. He'll turn around and headbutt my hand, and I don't want to do that. Obviously, that's not cool for Leo, and you don't want to antagonize him or have him do something that you don't want to reinforce that behavior. But he's backing up slowly. Leo, come here. But that's kind of how I got my very, very first bite last week. Is I just jumped in here and I started cleaning poop in there, and he didn't like it. And see, look, he hid. But we're going to look at Manny. I'm not going to really be able to take them out. Manny, let's move this out of the way. Manny's in his hide right there. He usually has his head. He'll stick his head out, just the very tip of his head, and smell with his tongue so he knows what's going on. He is in there. See, I told you it's neat. I just love snakes, or love these snakes at least. See, Leo is in there, but has his body winds all the way back, and then his body goes in here, and he's got some of his body back in this hide. So isn't that interesting? He'll sit like this for days. And he's going to come back out when he feels, you know, you just got to be really careful with the camera too, because the camera with the autofocus and the infrared for the focusing, the reptiles supposedly can see that, and that would confuse them. That's why some reptiles don't like cameras pointed at them, because the cameras have an infrared focusing, and if you have it on auto exposure, all that's being shot out and hitting them, and that may freak them out. Just FYI. And it could make him turn around and bite me because he's not liking what's being brought upon him. So I could introduce my hand, you know, and he could go, you know, see that as the infrared threat. Okay, well, that's enough about that. Leo, or no, this is Carmela's right back here. They love to sit over here because this exterior wall is on the outside of my house, and it stays cooler. So I shot the snakes, the two smaller boas, with the heat gun, the infrared heat gun. I think that's what it is, infrared. And they registered 80 degrees, even though the room was 86 degrees, because they were up against this wall. And the same for this one right there. Sorry, my camera is going to be close to maxed out on aperture and the brightness it can get. But there is Paisley sleeping down there by that cage. See, there she is. And there's, I have to flip my camera around so the camera is over here. Not going to focus. But see, I don't have them in cages. I haven't had them in cages for 2 years. Hot in there. Whew, man, 80 something degrees is really warm. That's my video. Again, hope people get something out of it, at least some enjoyment. I have so much enjoyment just from these boas and my tegus that are sleeping in the hides, and my snakes. Just the pride and joy of pretty much my life, my animals. That's the reason to come home, you know, after a trip. You know, why are you anxious to get home? I'm anxious to get home to see my pets, make sure everybody's okay. That includes my dog and my newest cat that I had to adopt, forced on me, that I'm taking care of. And I'm just glad to see that everyone's okay, and they're really glad to see when I get back. Even I think that my reptiles, when I hold them and I care for them, that they're appreciative and enjoy, to a degree, me taking care of them and holding them and seeing to them. Love, love, love my snakes and my lizards and my dogs. And I think that's everything. The cat. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Enough rambling. Bye-bye.